What is up, guys? Welcome to the Delta Omega Dynasty podcast. I'm your boy,
Germany, Carl Weezer.
fantasy football champion, right here. Your boy,
Wow.
You're the
joined
worst.
by Dakota and Trevor. We did a podcast last year. It was one of the best ones of the year. Happy to have you guys back. Long time no see. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
There we go. There we go.
Excellent.
There we go. Very well. Very good, I should say. Well, we brought them here today. Was Trevor's idea, I want to say. We're gonna do a two-round post NFL draft mock draft. Should be a lot of fun. We're just gonna do it with Excel. I'm gonna fill in the picks as we go. Let me share my screen, and we can get this thing rolling.
We're
Awesome.
just gonna alternate picks.
Yep, alternate picks. As you can see, it's kind of color coded. The order will be Trevor, Dakota, myself, in an effort to um, minimize the picks that Trevor and Dakota have themselves. Just make it more fun that way. Trevor will be the yellow, Dakota will be the blue, and I will be the pink. So yeah, without further ado, Trev, you are on the clock for Liam.
All right. All right. I figured I'd shake things up a little bit, throw a little curveball right away, and I'm going to have Liam take B. John Robinson.
There it is. No
Classic.
surprise there. Awesome. Do you want to do a little bit of analysis, or I mean, I know that one's pretty straightforward, or you just want to keep this thing moving?
Sure. I mean, it's just like, it's a clear 101. Liam uh, has been waiting for this pick for a long time, and it's been pretty clear it's always going to be Bijan. And he landed in a perfect spot in terms of fantasy. Maybe not so much for his career because I think they're going to run the tires off of him. But for fantasy, it's a perfect landing spot for him. So it'll be perfect, and he'll have Reese and Bijan, and sounds pretty lethal to me.
Yeah, that is quite the duo for sure. Just before we move on, did that update on the screen? Does it
Yep.
say Bijan Robinson on there or B Robinson? Perfect. Awesome. All right, Dakota, you are on the clock for Hunter at pick number two.
Okay, well, I guess I don't think that anybody's going to shake this up either. I'm not anticipating any trades, but I know that Hunter definitely needs some running back love, so I think it's pretty straightforward there. Jameer Gibbs is a no brainer in my mind on that one. Um, I mean, Hunter could go with, let's see, I had like a little analysis here. I'll pull that up. He needs like a running back, a QB, a tight end, but I think with, just how good Jameer Gibbs is, especially with the trade with DeAndre Swift, I mean, I think it just makes sense for his team.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Yeah, moving on to pick number three for Max, who I will be picking for quite a bit during this mock draft. Pretty easy placement here in my mind. As far as Max goes, he needs pretty much everything. So I'm just going to go with the best player on the board, and I'm going to take the best wide receiver available, or at least in my opinion. I'm going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN, for Max. I think it's perfect for him. They still have got DK, and Lockett could still be serviceable for maybe a year, maybe two. But Max isn't looking to win right now. I think that he's got all the time in the world to kind of sit on it and draft the best talent at every pick here. So yeah, for the third pick, we're gonna go with JSN for Max. Throwing it back to you, Trev, for pick number four.
All right. Yeah, I will be picking for Liam a lot as well in this one. I think it's pretty much his whole draft. Yeah. So this one I kind of went a little back and forth. It's way too early for Charbonnet and just the landing spot that he had. Otherwise, I would maybe look at a running back just for Liam's team. But it seemed kind of clear in terms of this. I think would be between Quentin Johnston and Addison. And it seemed like throughout the league chat convos, it seemed like he was a bit of an Addison fan. And Addison, I think, being in Minnesota is not a bad spot. Jay Jetta is going to certainly help him get a lot of opportunities for spreading out the floor. But so I think all in all, I lean more toward Addison. So
Interesting pick there. Yeah, I think he would have exploded had you taken Quentin Johnson. He does not appear to like him that much. But you never know. You got Herbert throwing you the ball. So, yeah. All right. Hunter for his second pick in the top 5, just like Liam. Dakota, you're up.
So I mentioned this earlier, and Hunter has, I think, 05 and 06. So kind of doesn't really matter what he picks here, but just looking at his roster, and now that he already got Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he needs some quarterback help. I mean, he's got Dak. And, you don't know how much longer he's got, or Matt Stafford's got. Carson Wentz isn't on a team, so his quarterback room's looking a little iffy. Dak's good and all, but could help to get some backup. But I think a little too early for a quarterback here. His wide receiver room's pretty young, got some good potential, so I think he goes with a tight end here. He's got some young, good tight ends, but I just don't think he's got like a full-fledged starter as a tight end. So I think Max is going to go with, and it's kind of tough here. I think because he already got Jahmyr Gibbs at Detroit, I don't think he goes Sam Laporta, but I think he's going to go Michael Mayer. So I'm going to have Hunter taking Michael Mayer here.
Wow. Well, that threw a wrench in what I was going to do because I was going to have him take a tight end with the 106. But yeah. Okay. So in an effort to scramble and find a rational thought to take somebody else here at 6, I'm going to go with, I guess I mean I just got to add some value here. He could go running back. That might be the move. It might be the move because I don't know. It doesn't seem like a Hunter player to be a QJ fan. Nobody seems to really like Zay Flowers. And then where else do you go? Do you take? But Charbonnet at 6 is so early. You know what? We'll just take the first round talent. We'll go with Quentin Johnson, and I do not feel good about that pick, and I don't think Hunter's going to feel good about it hearing it. So, sorry, Hunter, but if it's just best player available right now, so I could be wrong. But yeah, throwing it back to Trev for Dakota's pick at 107.
All right. Yeah, I think Dakota is a Zay Flowers fan. One, obviously because of the Ravens, and he was also pretty pumped. We were on the phone with each other during the pretty much the whole first round of the draft, and he was pretty excited about it. Or I guess more so the fact that the Ravens just didn't completely fuck it up and take some dumb player.
That.
But, so I mean, I think it's, even though he does have a lot of Ravens players, he did list some players on the trade block, so maybe he's trying to move some pieces. So I mean, I think it's first round talent again. So I think I'm gonna go with Zay Flowers there.
Do not hate that pick at all. Not at all. Like Zay Flowers. I think he could be pretty good. Dakota for 108. Riley's first to 4 in a row, I think.
Yeah, so I don't think this pick really matters because 4 picks in a row, you do whatever the fuck he wants in any particular, in no particular order. But I have Riley. I mean, his team's pretty good. He's got a lot of depth. But I have him picking or needing, biggest issue at the moment. He's only got one tight end, and it's Cole Kmet, and you got Justin Fields running the ball and not passing it. So I'm going to go tight end here with this first pick. And I think just with the beginning position of tight end and with Max Mayer taking off the board, I think he's going to go. And he seemed pretty high up on him whenever we were watching the draft. So I think he's going to go Sam Laporta here.
Here I was going to take Dalton Kincaid at 6 for Hunter, and two other tight ends go before him. So here we go. I'm back up on the clock at the 109 for Riley. Like Dakota said, it doesn't really matter the order these players go, but I'm just looking at team need here. And right now, as I look at Riley's roster, he's got Gardner Minshew in his starting quarterback position. At this point, with another pick after, he can pretty much address a skill position and add some depth. Um, but I'm going to take the easy route here, and I'm going to take. Ooh, this is tough. But just because he's a Colts fan and the upside, I'm going to have him go Anthony Richardson. Um, maybe could he go Bryce Young? Um, sorry, my computer unplugged. Um, maybe could go Bryce Young and be a safer pick for maybe a team that's trying to win now. I just think he's too big of a Colts fan, and the upside is way too high on Richardson, who sounds like he might be playing a majority of the season, just because of the lack of reps he got in college. So I'm thinking Riley goes with a homer pick here and picks Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, if you weren't gonna take him there, I was just gonna take him on the next pick. So that
Perfect.
makes sense. All right, so this is his third pick of his four there. I think I don't know. There's a couple uh, wide receivers you could take a swing on. For instance, like Mingo, I think is going to get a lot of opportunities just because it's going to be a great situation for him to just sort of develop with the quarterback with Bryce there. But at the same time, I could also see him just taking a swing on like I think the next three best running backs here, which are Charbonnet, A Chain, and Miller. He didn't seem like a big Miller fan, but at the same time, Miller is so young; he's only 20, and I don't see them keeping Kamara for anywhere past this year. So I think it boils down to A Chain and Miller here because A Chain had a great landing spot with Miami, but I'm almost still going to just lean Miller just because he's so young, and you give him that year behind two decent running backs, he'll still be ready to go by 21, and that would allow him to sort of just continuously stay on the younger, not have to break down the team and rebuild all of a sudden. Uh, so I'm gonna go Miller here.
Interesting.
It's a bit of a reach, I think, but I mean he could take it the next pick too. So it's
For
like
sure. For
I like
sure.
that. I had that with him picking Kendra Miller here too for the same reason. Young, behind somebody, he'll play next year. He's pretty stacked on running back, and that's a good pick. Good call.
Yeah, I can't disagree. He fits the bill more than A Chain does, but something about A Chain screams Riley player to me. Um, but yeah, don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. Back to you, Dakota, with the 11.
So Riley has 4 picks in a row. He just picked a tight end, a quarterback, and a running back. I don't think it really matters here, but I had him picking Quentin Johnson, I think, for the last one. So I think, wide receiver here, but, obviously Quentin Johnson's off the board. So I think, and kind of where Trevor's going, I think this is going to be Jonathan Mingo here. Might be a little early, but, young wide receiver, high upside, good position. So I think that's where I'm going to put him there is Jonathan Mingo.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is I mean, I just don't know what everyone's gonna expect when they see this first round. When they watch this, because I think there's going to be some interesting reviews, to say the least.
Yeah, it's not going as planned, but it's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a weird draft, so I can't blame it here or blame any of these picks really, for that matter. I'm back up with Trevor on the clock at the 12, and I'm sitting here thinking under my notes I had Mayer or Laporta, whichever tight end falls, and I think you are. Um, for lack of better terms, creaming your shorts here when you have Dalton Kincaid sitting on the board. for the Buffalo Bills, a first round tight end, the only one in the class, fall to you at 12. So um, I don't know. Everybody loves that pick for the Bills in the media, and I certainly do as a fan. Man, I just think this is a home run auto pick. Don't even think about it twice. Pick for Trev here. I like it a lot. Throwing it to the second round with Trevor back on the clock for Liam.
All right. Yeah, no, we'll definitely need some new shorts if I got Kincaid there. Um, this one, I'm kind of looking at running back again, just because you can never have too many, right? Um, but at the same time, you can kind of see him maybe going cornerback here. Just given his roster, it's Wilson, Russell, Jimmy G, Baker, uh, and Zach Wilson. So in terms of reliability, especially this past year, there's nothing um, in that regard. So I want to look at Bryce Young here just because he's got that 101 pick, and he's definitely got a high floor, I think. So that could just be something you could build on too in case he just turns into an absolute stud. So I uh, I think I'll do that.
Bryce Young.
Yep.
Wow. Big draft for Liam if he can walk away with Bijan, Addison, and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
There we go. Kicking off the second round. We're throwing it back to Dakota for Hunter's pick at the 202.
So I think again with Hunter, it was I originally said he needed a running back, QB, tight end. With his first two picks, he picked a running back and a tight end. I could see him picking another running back just because, that would stack him at running back for a little bit. But I could also see him picking a quarterback. Now that quarterbacks are going, it seems like usually when one quarterback gets picked up, the next move is the next quarterback, or shortly thereafter. So I think I'm going to change from what I picked originally. Originally, I had him picking Kane or whatever the fuck you say his stupid name, but I think I'm going to go with CJ Stroud here.
Yeah, that was an excellent point. Seems like when in the second round, when one quarterback goes, the other one's within a pick or two of the next. And I like this pick. Stroud kind of seems like a Hunter guy, and I know that's just a generality, but it kind of seems like a good fit. I'm back up on the clock for Max, um, who I had in my notes taking the third tight end off the board or a quarterback, and there's no way he's picking Levis here. Um, I guess Charbonnet's Falls is tempting, but I think I'm going to go a little crazy here, and I'm going to pick another homer pick. I'm going to take what's his name, Tajay Spears, Titans running back. Henry's days seems like the trade talks are you know sometimes they are louder, or they have been loud this offseason, I should say. Um, this way he has somebody to root for when the Titans are obviously rebuilding, or at least it appears that they are. Um, and he might have a better opportunity to get more carries compared to somebody like Charbonnet, who probably is splitting with Ken Walker, which might destroy both of their values, but it certainly impacts Charbonnet's values for sure. So I haven't taken Spears in another homer pick. Trev, back to you with Hunter with the 204.
Son. All right. I think it's pretty clear that with the two that have, I don't want to say necessarily fallen, but the two running backs that are still there between Charbonnet and A Chain, um, and just with Hunter's roster as well, could definitely use some home run hits on a running back. So I think he'll take maybe a little bit more of a swing with A Chain here, just because the backfield there is just, yes, it's crowded with a bunch of, I would say, mid backs. So if he can really just sort of carve out a path, or at least just stay consistent for a year, he's only 21, so he's still fairly young as well, and all the other guys are a little bit older. So if he can just kind of keep his spot at least for a year, I can definitely see him sort of just paving his way. So I'm gonna go A Chain here.
Wow. Yeah, don't hate that pick at all. Yeah. What's Irv doing at the 205, Dakota?
With the person that speaks the least in the league, I have no fucking idea what I was thinking. So just gonna go off of what I think based on his roster. So if you look at it, he's got Burrow, Fields, Purdy. I'd say, regardless of what happens in San Francisco, he's sitting pretty or Purdy. So I think he's not going to go with a quarterback here. He's got some, he's got Harris and then Mixon. Mixon's had some troubles. It seems like maybe he's kind of on the outs. And he's got a bunch of like question mark running backs. So I think it makes sense for running back here. And I know this might be controversial, but if you ever watch college football, I think this pick makes a lot of sense. I think maybe not this year, but next year, Roshan Johnson. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think he's got a huge upside. He honestly, because Bijan was so good, like, sorry about that. Stuff on me. I think because Bijan was so good, Roshan kind of fell under the way people like overlook him, but I think he's a great back, and he's part of the reason that the Texas running backs were so good. So I think that pick makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah, I definitely like this pick. I've seen people call Roshan Johnson the new Damian Pierce for this year, which I don't hate the comparison. I would anticipate that he will be drafted earlier than the auto drafted sleeper mock drafts do. So yeah, I do like this pick a lot. I thought you were going to go Chase Brown, the Bengals running back, just to further it that stat going. Yes, it's early, but
I was between the two of them, but I think Roshan potentially has a higher ceiling. But I also didn't ever really watch Chase Brown. I don't know who the fuck that was, so I mean, I don't know.
right,
A little,
right.
little bit of bias.
Well, I have your pick in the second round here, the 206. Wow. At this point, at this point, I'm just gonna go with best available, and I don't think he's gonna fall this far in our real draft. But I'm gonna go with Charbonnet here. At this point, at the 206, what's the risk? Um, he's the third running back drafted, the only one drafted in the second round. Um, at the 206, and I think that's as good as it gets. The landing spot's shaky, but it's all right. You can live with that at this point in the draft. So I got you going, Zach Charbonnet. On to the 207, where Trevor's back on the clock for Kyle.
All right. I'm going even though just Kyle's team is pretty stacked in terms of the depth chart. So he really doesn't have a whole lot of needs. But I think he'll just kind of maybe look to the homer pick here. I think he's missing some Chiefs wide receiver action ever since Tyreek left. So I think he just kind of wants to maybe get back on that boat and take Rashee Rice here. Just throw him on the bench and see what he can be. And any sort of bye week that he wants to play three wide receivers, you can maybe throw him in there.
Yeah, I kind of thought this was where you would go with this pick. Yeah, and I don't know. Kyle's rebuttal will be like, I have Tony and whatnot, and some people are high on him, some people aren't. But yeah, that just seems like a home run, slam dunk pick at this point in the draft. Yeah, 208, and Hunter's back on the clock.
You're on mute.
Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background, so I put myself on mute. I said I have so many fucking Hunter picks, I have no idea what to do. But I'm sorry, Hunter, that I fucked up your team in this draft. I'd say again, I have no fucking idea what Hunter's going to do after he's gotten so many picks. He has so much draft capital. I mean, probably going to trade one or two of these picks, I would assume. So I'm sure this draft will look completely different from what we have. But um, honestly, there's so many factors here. If I look at Hunter's team again, now that he has all these players, I just feel like I don't know. The next best available in my mind is another tight end. Because I feel, but it's the second round and it's later in the second round. I know he already picked Max Mayer, but I feel like he's also kind of a question mark. So I think I could either see Shoemaker or Musgraves. Musgraves maybe not as high up because you have Jordan Love thrown to him, and who the hell knows if he's any good. Green Bay could just be amazing again, have the same Aaron Rodgers type quarterback sitting as a first round pick or whatever he was, for 3 years, and then he just is amazing. But he could also be dog shit. We have no idea. Or you have, a Dallas Cowboys tight end, which Dallas Cowboys tight ends typically do pretty well. So I think it makes more sense for, was it Shoemaker? I think that he has potential higher upside with just the position he's in at the moment. So I think he's going to take another tight end just because Max Mayer might be a little bit of a question mark. So doubling up on tight end here just to make sure he's good at tight end going forward.
Huh. Interesting. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think he's got Daniel Bellinger as his only, or as at least his starting tight end. So, might as well roll the dice. You never know which one of these guys will be the next, the next top tier tight end, like the Kelseys, the Andrews, the Kittles, all that's good stuff. I'm back on the clock with the 209 with Max again. Yeah, it's nice when I have Max's picks because I really can't go wrong. Everything upgrades his roster. Um, so I'm looking at opportunity here. Not necessarily. Oops, guess we only got 10 minutes left, but I'm looking at opportunity here to be a contributor from day one. And when I look at the Colts receiving room, I see Michael Pittman, and then Alec Pierce, and then I think they signed somebody else that like Isaiah McKenzie or something from Buffalo. Um, so I think I'm gonna have Max take a swing on a Colts receiver here, which could be risky, but I kind of like his film. I'm gonna have him taking Josh Downs out of Kentucky. The draft capital, like I said, isn't ideal, but I do like the player. Landing spot isn't awful. So I got Josh Downs going to Max, an unexpected pick, or maybe not for sleeper auto draft, but I kind of like this for him. Back to Trevor at the 210 with another Hunter pick.
All right, and this is my last one for the mock. I'm glad you had him taking Schoonmaker, however you say it. Otherwise, this would have made this pick a little bit awkward. But I'm gonna go another homer pick here with Hunter being a Green Bay fan. I'm gonna just go with Jaden Reed here. He's got some pretty good draft capital. I don't remember off the top of my head if they might have traded up to get to him. I don't remember off the top of my head, but regardless, the offense seems pretty clear in terms of there's an opening. It's Christian Watson, and then they've got Aaron Jones for running back and AJ Dillon. But in terms of the receiving room, there's still a lot of question marks. So Jaden Reed with the capital he definitely has a good chance to really carve out a role. And when you're in the back of the second, you might have that opportunity, and it's for a team that you're a fan of. Why not take the shot? So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I like that pick. I thought at when Schoonmaker went, I thought you were going to go Musgrave like you were talking about, just for that same reason. I get it. Not everyone can pick their favorite team every time, but it's the only thing we can go off of at this point for the most part. So, yeah, I like that pick. Second round receiver. definitely at this point in the draft is pretty good value. Dakota, your final pick, and it is actually your own. The one time where one of you gets to pick one of your own picks. So take it away.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I feel like this kind of gives away my strategy, but also who knows? Because our picks, I feel like kind of just gone awry a little bit. But let's see. So when you look at my team, it's just like a shit show. I've like hobbled into the playoffs every year and somehow won a game in the playoffs every year, which makes no sense. But my roster definitely needs some running backs, some wide receivers. With Trevor picked a wide receiver for me at the beginning. I think you picked a running back for me at in the middle of the second. I need a quarterback probably because I only have one quarterback at the moment. But I think, like after the first 2 or 3 quarterbacks kind of drops off and it's a lot of question marks. But I think I'm going to go wide receiver here with this pick again, just because, my wide receivers are all over the place. They could be good. They could be bad. They're probably bad. So I think I'm going to need some love here. And so, like with the remaining picks of the wide receivers that are available, we got Marvin Mims in Denver. It's a pretty crowded wide receiver room. We got Tank Dell. Who knows? Don't even know who the fuck that was. Jalen Hyatt. Apparently, he can only run and go route, and he's being thrown the ball by Danny Dimes. So, is Danny Dimes good? I don't know. Seems like he's pretty overhyped. But I think I'm going to go with, based on that, I think I'm going to go with Jalen Hyatt here in this pick. Just take a chance, take a swing for the fences. Hope he actually knows how to run more than just one route. And he's a home run hitter for the Giants. So I think I'm going to solidify with Hyatt here.
Not the OU boy.
Just said. I think it's only because there's a crowded Denver room.
Yeah.
Got an old ass quarterback throwing to you. Who knows?
Yeah, might as well. I might as well take a stab at Hyatt at this point. It's 211. I guess that's what we're all doing at this point of the draft. So yeah, I'm back up on the clock with yet another max pick at the 212. And years past, this is a guy that's taken Michael Carter. This is a guy that's taken Brian Robinson. And another guy that maybe I'm not as high on is maybe like a Brian Robinson, but a guy that kind of fits that same mold. I like him taking running back Tank Bigsby here at the 212. Running back for Jacksonville, obviously ETN's there. They used Jermichael Hasty a lot last year, and I think he can be an upgrade for that. And I think he could still be like maybe a 6 point a game guy. Maybe if he gets in the end zone, he can have a 12, 13 point performance here and there. I kind of like this. And at this point, what are we drafting here for? Does he take Levis? Like maybe, but I don't think he really loves Levis at all. So I don't know. I just feel like Bigsby seems like a low level running back that Max would probably find some sort of value for. So that's where I'm headed there. So with that being said, we have done a two round mock draft, 65 days out from the draft, as it's scheduled currently right now. Very interesting. A lot of surprises to say the least. I can't wait to hear what people say about it. You guys should let us know who you think did the best job picking. It's nice and color coded, so you can keep track of who picked where. As far as you guys, what are your guys' thoughts on these mock drafts? Any opinions?
Trev, you go first.
Yeah, I think the order of the tight ends kind of got a bit whack. So it could be interesting. It just really depends on people's opinions and if they are needing / wanting a tight end or not. So that'll really, I think, dictate who falls. And then running backs. It's crazy that I think Charbonnet fell that far. But yeah, it goes to the landing spot. You have to be comfortable with knowing that he's not gonna instantly have a massive role, probably, unless something bad happens to Walker. But I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a solid 4 or 5 running backs, sort of at the end of the first and the middle of the second that could really just sort of cycle around. So should be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I guess I'll go since I know that I fucked up the picks to begin with. I don't know why I'm not sold on Kincaid. I wasn't sure about the Dawson Knox situation. I mean, I guess if you take a tight end in the first round, you're most likely going to take him as your number one tight end. But I think it just has to do with the quarterback's decision making. I mean, I feel like Dawson Knox is pretty good. I mean, he's not the greatest. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a tight end one going off the board immediately. But yeah, I was just like, Max Mayer. It seems like Garoppolo fucking loves tight ends. I just felt like that was the move there. So sorry for fucking that up immediately. But I will say 3 tight ends in the first round. That is pretty impressive. I think that was kind of maybe a shocker for me at the moment. And then, yeah, I agree with your take there about getting Charbonnet in the second round for me. It seems surprising, but I mean, I guess it makes sense with him going to Seattle and splitting reps. So, I mean, if I get him, definitely be very happy about that. I think I will cream my pants as much as Trev creams his pants with Dalton Kincaid. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. What about you, Joey? What are your hot takes here?
Yeah, I gotta make this brief because we kind of got less than a minute until this free version of Zoom kind of crashes out. But overall, it's crazy. I don't think everybody's in love with these people. Um, after like 3 or 4. Um, so it'll be kind of crazy, kind of surprising like this. I expect. But yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm excited for this draft to come around and look forward to bringing out some new content and hopefully have you guys on again before the draft starts again. Maybe we can do a 3 round mock. But yeah, thanks for uh thanks for stopping by, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Thank you for hosting.
Just like that.